Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyclone Fanatic pregame show. It's time to talk some Cyclone women's hoops. We're really excited. I'm your host, Leah Nelson, and joining me in the studio this season, Cyclone legend and WNBA legend, and she's still calling Iowa State basketball. She's the best, Chelsea Poppins. Come on in the studio, Chelsea. We're so excited to have you.
Thanks for the nice introduction.
Of course. We're so excited to have your perspective here this season. You'll bring great talking points and everything to our shows. It'll mostly be me and Chelsea. I'll just reiterate kind of what Chris said. It's going to be a team effort. There's a lot of basketball this season for men's and women. So before we break down this big game against Iowa State and South Carolina, let's thank a few of our sponsors. We've got Channel Seed as a title sponsor for both men's and women's basketball shows this year. So we're super excited. They are huge Iowa State fans. They wanted to join in on the fun this year. So they'll be with us this whole season. So you'll learn a lot about Channel Seed this year. And our friends over at Fairway Meat Market in Ames, they're pretty awesome. If you love good quality meat, you know where to go. Get them for your tailgating, before games, after games, dinner, lunch, breakfast. They're the way to go. We wouldn't steer you wrong. So thanks to all of our sponsors. Chelsea, we're so excited to have you. Seriously. And you just got back from your honeymoon, and it's busy. It's a busy time for you.
Yeah. This is the first season that you guys are doing Cyclone Fanatic? We're doing it for the women's team, right?
I think so. Right, Aiden?
Yes.
Kinda.
It's the first time that we're doing it as good as we're going to do it this year. I'll say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's girl power. I'm excited. Seriously, you're going to bring such a great perspective. But kind of let's jump into it. Since it's our first show, why don't you break down a couple of your key players from the Iowa State team, or who you want people to watch?
Yeah. So if you've been following the last few preseason games or early games, Audie Crooks, a huge present, absolute force in the paint. She had 33 points versus Drake, which is phenomenal. And 21 points versus UNI. She's been just being an absolute force down there, working on her fadeaway, some easy buckets down low. She's a lot what Iowa State's offense is going through. Addie Brown, also another huge force, sophomore, versatile forward. She had 13 points on Sunday. Ignore my dogs.
No, it's okay. Chris's daughters come in the show. I was like, I think I've had my brother come down one time. So
oh yeah,
this is what makes it fun.
They're just barking away. But Addie Brown, I know she only had 13 points on Sunday versus Drake and 22 points versus UNI. But she can do it all. She's playing defense. She's posting up. She's getting the ball to Audie down low. And then everyone who knows the Cyclones knows Emily Ryan, the veteran player, the court general out there. And Coach Finley says whoever is out there on the court with her is going to have a good game and is going to do the best. So those are three key players. I think Kenzie Hare, also a new face on the team. She's been doing pretty well as well.
She really has. So let's chat about Iowa State, South Carolina. Obviously, South Carolina is a powerhouse, but they did just come off of a huge loss against UCLA, which is tough. And Iowa State came off an electric win against Drake, last second shot by Audie. So talk about, how do you expect both teams to come out in this next game?
I think South Carolina is going to come in pissed off that they lost their number one spot to UCLA. I think they're going to come in with some fire. Obviously, Iowa State is coming off an electric win on Sunday. I mean, they're going to come in, and I hope they come in and just play the Iowa State way and don't try to play any other way than they know how to. You got Dawn Staley's team. She's an absolute legend. They have so many phenomenal players on their team. Tahina Paopao, Chloe Kitts. So I think you're going to see some good matchups with Audie Crooks and Kitts. South Carolina has some size. So I think there's going to be some work down low. And then you have two veteran players like Tahina Paopao and Emily Ryan. I think are going to be a great matchup. And I hope Iowa State, it doesn't come in starstruck because they were the number one team. I hope they come in with some grit and willing to show what they're made of and kind of dig deep and work, start rebounding and just put some work in.
Obviously Iowa State's coming in as the underdog spot, But in my experience, like in softball, I loved playing teams that were, way better because nothing to lose. From your experience from playing at Iowa State and just like in general calling games, is it easier to be the underdog? I would assume so.
I think there's a little less pressure, but I mean, we played my freshman year, we made it to the Sweet 16, played against UConn, played against Tina Charles, Maya Moore, some of these amazing players, and we had nothing to lose.
Right.
We lost, but but it's games like that where you're just like, all right, challenge accepted. I have nothing to lose. Like everyone else has pretty much lost to UConn. But I think there's always some jitters. Like Coach Finley came in at halftime saying a lot of us are pissing down our leg, but like you're gonna have right. that. You're gonna have a learning curve. You're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna learn from them, and you're gonna experience playing against some phenomenal players, and you're just gonna be better because of it.
I agree. There's nothing to lose, so might as well like show everyone what you got. So it's pretty awesome. So obviously, South Carolina, one of the better teams Iowa State's going to see, but they are beatable. Obviously, they just lost to UCLA. So what are some key things that Iowa State needs to do to be able to accomplish a win on tomorrow? Yeah.
So I think just like UCLA they came with energy, they came with intensity. I hope Iowa State comes in with some energy, that intensity to throw South Carolina off rhythm, start missing shots from the get-go, because I think when they start that first quarter off rough, I think the rest of the game is they have take more time to find that rhythm and get into their groove. So I think if Iowa State comes out, gets on the boards, because South Carolina is known for being a great rebounding team. They're averaging about 18 offensive rebounds a game. So if Iowa State can put up a fight and want the ball more than South Carolina, I think they'll have it'll be a good game to watch.
So you mentioned playing the Iowa State way earlier, a couple questions ago. Not to put you on the spot, but could you give a little definition of what playing the Iowa State way means to you?
Honestly, the Iowa State way is just like going in, giving it your all, doing what you do best, and knowing like what your role is on the team. And even if it's on the bench, like wherever you're at, however many minutes you get, just doing the most with that and doing what's best for the team. I think also just following the scouting report. Like Iowa State's been known to be a great defensive team, great 3-point shooting team. And now they have Audie Crooks, who's an absolute, a true post down low. So I think the potential is there. Just going in and doing what they do best is the Iowa State way, and diving on the ball, doing the things no one else wants to do. Rebounds, all about effort. So just working, blue collar, get it done.
You sound like Coach Finley. I love it. Just so people can kind of get to know you as well, since this is our first show, what's your favorite Iowa State memory, whether it's basketball or just, college in general? What do you love about Iowa State?
I mean, it was always Hilton Magic. You go in, the crowd's it's always a big crowd. They're always there in your corner, getting loud, just showing up for Hilton Magic and being a part of that crew. And go wherever you go, people will talk about the game, whether it's a gas station, whether it's Fairway, whether you're getting your meat and you find it.
Perfect.
Yeah. But it really is just the people, the staff, the fans, everything. I think that's it's fun to be able to still call games and be in that atmosphere, even from the security team, the staff in Hilton, and people who were there during my time are still there. So it's really cool to be hey, good to see you again. It's just everything about being a clone is awesome. And to still
it's the best.
Yeah.
Hey, seriously, I was I said this on one of the shows with Chris, we would be across the country and someone was wearing an Iowa State shirt or sweatshirt and they're roll clones across the airport. I'm like, what are you doing over here? Literally, I'm why are there so many fans everywhere? But it's so incredible. Iowa State truly packs a punch. Fans everywhere. They go hard. So this should be a great game. I know everyone's going to be cheering from everywhere, every neck of the woods, but Do you have a score prediction for this game?
That's tough.
I know you don't have to answer if you. It's just.
Well, I mean, South Carolina has been averaging about 80 points a game. So I think if Iowa State can hold them under 80, those have been like the closest games and the most competition. Even with the UCLA, that game was under 80 points. So if Iowa State can hold them under 80 and get their points up, get some good threes and post work down low, I think it'll be a good game.
Perfect. I can't wait. We'll be back. Chelsea and I will be back for post game right after the game. You can tune in here on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network. And thanks to all of our sponsors, Fairway, our title sponsor, Channel Seed. And Chelsea, thanks so much. Seriously, it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, good to be here. Let's go.